My name is Sanhita Sen. I am a 3L, so I will be graduating this May 2012. I actually split my 2L summer between two government positions. The first was the Office of Legislative Counsel for the House of Representatives, so drafting legislation, basically. And the second was more similar to my first summer, and that was the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice. The Office of Legislative Counsel was a good experience because it exposed me to the lawmaking process, which I think actually a lot of students don't get. I think students clerk and they see the judicial side of things, or they work for the prosecutor and they see the executive side of things, but the legislative side of things is very interesting, and I think it will be helpful to me if I ever want to lobby, if I ever want to do anything that requires advocacy. I think having a sense of how laws are drafted is very useful. The Civil Rights Division is amazing. I worked with great attorneys who are very committed to civil rights, and I was able to, again, a lot of drafting memos, but also being able to kind of participate in the trial process. It is different from working in the DA's office or somewhere where you're in court a lot. You're not in court in the Civil Rights Division because the prosecutors are all over the country. So you're a little removed from the immediate trial aspects, but you get a lot of exposure to trial strategy. Again, it's the same thing as with everything else. The networking isn't just about getting a job, it's also about while you're at the job and talking to different attorneys, so you get different assignments, so you get a sense of the office as a whole. So networking was an important component in a number of ways. So when I was at the ICTY, my 1L summer, I talked to all the Americans who were there because their career paths would be closest to mine, and that included one Penn Law alum. So I asked him, a lot of them had come out of the Civil Rights Division, so he advised me that would be the sensible place to go if I wanted to go back to The Hague. So the application I think was released in July, and I think I worked on it from July up until the date it was due in September. So that was September I turned in the application, and then I think they announced interviews in October, if I remember right, and actually did the interviews sometime in October, and then they made a decision about whether or not you got the job in December, which is late for a 2L if you're, not for a public interest 2L, but for anybody that was kind of interested in firms or anything like that. It was late because the job application season feels like it's September, even if you're not doing OCI, which is part of why I felt compelled to nail down the House Legislative Counsel job in September. As with all jobs, networking is really important, and since I was interested in the criminal division, in the Civil Rights Division, I was very excited to be able to meet a Penn Law alum in the DC area through a program set up through Penn, where Penn Law alums are willing to meet with students, with current students. And we had a conversation about my interest in the Civil Rights Division, and even though I hadn't gotten the job through the regular process, she, after having spoken to me, she suggested I apply to the volunteer program, which I hadn't really thought about. And she connected me to someone in the Civil Rights Division, and I did a second interview. And the second interview went better, and I was able to get the job through that.